someone really needs to hear. You know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off and you just lie there. Not because you are lazy, not because you don't care, but because something inside you just feels heavy. Like you never actually rested. Like sleep did its job, but something else didn't. You don't look through these today. They wake up, they get moving, they have energy, they have drive, and you are sitting there wondering what is wrong with you, why you feel so drained before the day has even started. Nothing is wrong with you, but something is going on. And today, we are going to talk about exactly what that is. We are growing to this person. Maybe you are this person, the one who sleeps a full 8 hours and wakes up just as tired as when they close their eyes. The one who takes a weekend off and comes back to Monday feeling like they never left. The one who looks fine on the outside, but is running on empty on the inside every single day. You know that thing that most people get wrong about this. They assume it is a sleep problem, or a diet problem, or a motivation problem. So they try sleeping more, eating better, setting alarms, making schedules, and nothing changes because they are solving the wrong problem entirely. This kind of tired has nothing to do with how many hours you slept. This is a different kind of exhaustion altogether. So what is actually happening? What is draining these people so completely that no amount of rest seems to fix it? The first thing you need to understand is that the human body has two separate systems that need rest. The physical system, your muscles, your body, your cells, that one recovers during sleep. 8 hours and it is mostly good. But the second system, the emotional and psychological system, that one does not recover during sleep. It recovers through something completely different. And for some people, that second system never gets to recover at all. Think about it this way. Imagine carrying a heavy bag on your back all day. At night, you put the bag down and you sleep. In the morning, you pick the bag right back up. Your body rested, but the weight never went anywhere. That is what emotional exhaustion feels like, every single morning.
So who are these people exactly? What kind of person ends up in this state of permanent exhaustion?
The first type is the overthinker. This is the person whose brain never fully switches off. Even when their body is still, their mind is running, replaying conversations, analyzing situations, planning for every possible outcome, worrying about things that have not happened yet and probably never will. Their brain is working overtime every single hour of every single day. And a brain that never stops working is a brain that never fully recovers. By the time morning comes, they have already been mentally active for hours without even realizing it. This type carries more emotional weight. The second type is the emotional absorber. This is the person who feels everything, not just their own emotions, but everyone else's too. When someone around them is stressed, they feel that stress. When someone is sad, they carry that sadness. When there is tension in a room, they feel it before anyone has said a word. These people are often the ones everyone comes to with their problems. The natural listeners, the fixers, the ones who always seem to have space for everyone else's pain. And they do, but that space comes from somewhere. And what it costs them is their own energy. The third type is the people pleaser. This is the person who spends enormous amounts of energy every single day managing how other people feel about them, choosing their words carefully, adjusting their behavior, saying yes when they mean no, staying in situations that drain them because leaving feels selfish. The constant monitoring of how they are being perceived, the endless effort to keep everyone comfortable. It is exhausting work, and it never stops. Because people pleasers do not clock out. They are always on. This type is the most internal. The fourth type is the person carrying unprocessed weight, old pain, old grief, old situations that never got properly dealt with. They did not fall apart when they were supposed to. They kept going. They stayed strong. They handled it. Or so they told themselves. But unprocessed emotional weight does not disappear. It goes somewhere. And where it goes is into the body, into the nervous system,
into the background hum of exhaustion that never quite goes away, no matter how much you sleep.
And here is what makes this so fascinating from a psychological standpoint. All four of these types have one thing in common. They are all spending energy on invisible work, work that nobody sees, work that does not show up on any to-do list, work that cannot be measured or pointed to at the end of the day. But it is real work. It is exhausting work, and it costs them just as much as any physical labor would, sometimes more. And because nobody can see the work they are doing, including sometimes themselves, nobody thinks to ask if they need rest from it, including them. So they push through because they look fine, because other people seem to manage, because rest does not feel justified when you cannot point to what you are resting from. And so the exhaustion compounds, day after day, week after week, until just existing starts to feel like a full-time job. There is also something happening on a biological level that most people do not know about. When a person experiences chronic emotional stress, the kind that comes from overthinking, from absorbing others' emotions, from people-pleasing, from carrying unprocessed pain, their nervous system stays in a low-level alert state almost constantly. Not the full panic of acute stress, just a quiet, persistent hum of tension running underneath everything. Psychologists call this a dysregulated nervous system, and a nervous system that is always slightly on alert never fully relaxes, even during sleep, which means the sleep they get is never as restorative as it should be. Their body is resting, but their nervous system is still working, still watching, still waiting for the next thing to manage or absorb or worry about. This is why they wake up tired, not because they did not sleep enough, but because their nervous system never got the signal that it was safe to fully let go. And if you are listening to this and recognizing yourself or someone you know, I want you to sit with something for a moment. The exhaustion you feel is not weakness. It is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is the result of doing enormous amounts of work that the world around you has never learned to see or acknowledge. You have been carrying things for a long time, probably longer than you even realize, and you have been carrying them quietly, without complaint, without asking for help, because that is what you do. But here is the reality. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and a person who never lets themselves fully rest, who never deals with the weight they are carrying, will eventually reach a point where their body makes the decision for them. Burnout, shutdown, collapse. The body always finds a way to take the rest it was never given voluntarily.
Here is what I want to leave you with.
If you are always tired, if rest never seems to be enough, if you wake up exhausted before the day has even started, the question worth asking is not, how do I sleep better? The question is, what am I carrying that I have never put down?